Huzzah, Boxing Nation, where boxing lives, breathes, and breaks down. The sport is heating up again as we head into the final stretch of 2025. Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao says that he's stepping back into the ring for a second time. Daniel Dubois is hunting redemption against Frank Sanchez. Sebastian the Towering Inferno Fundora got a date with Keith One-Time Thurman. And Saul Canelo Alvarez's future might be in jeopardy after a new injury update. Let's break this all down. After months of rumors, it's official. Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao is returning to the ring in January 2026 at age 47. But let's clear the air first. Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao is not in talks to face Conor Benn. Conor Benn's camp has already confirmed his next fight will be against Chris Eubank Jr. in the rematch, in a British mega fight set for December. So those rumors about Conor Benn versus Manny Pacquiao are completely false. Instead, Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao focus appears to be locked on a more meaningful comeback against Rolando Romero, the outspoken WBA 147-pound regular champion who's been calling out legends for attention. There's also chatter that Mikey Garcia or even Adrian the Problem Broner, if a deal can't be made with Rolando Romero. At 46, Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao conditioning remains world class. He's training twice daily, running hills in General Santos City, and sparring with young fighters to keep his timing sharp. Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao told reporters this week, this isn't about money, it's about legacy and discipline. And he says, I still have that fire. Let's be honest, a lot of fighters talk legacy, but Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao lives it. From 8-division world champion to senator and philanthropist, he's one of the few who can fight on legacy alone. Still, Father Time is undefeated. If he steps in with someone like Rolando Romero, that's serious danger. Rolly's raw power, explosiveness, and unpredictability can make him a formidable opponent in this fight. But if Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao pulls off one last victory against a ranked fighter, it will put him in a rare company alongside Foreman and Hopkins as the only men to win meaningful fights in their mid-40s. Let me know what you guys think about this fight in the comments below. Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao versus Rolando Romero for the WBA regular 147-pound belt. Daniel Dubois, who is now 22 wins, 3 losses, and 21 big wins coming by way of knockout, is stepping into what many considered the most critical moments of his career. The young British powerhouse has faced elite opposition before, but his 2 encounters with Alexander Usyk told a painful story of lessons learned the hard way. 2 knockout losses. Their first fight took place back in August of 2023, Wrocław, Poland, a night filled with tension and controversy. Early in the fight, Daniel Dubois landed a heavy right to the body that appeared to drop Alexander Usyk cleanly, but the referee ruled it a low blow, sparking debate that still echoes through boxing circles today. Despite the moment, Alexander Usyk's experience and ring IQ took over. He weathered the storm and controlled the pace with precise jabs and angles, and ultimately stopping Daniel Dubois in the 9th round. It was a tough loss for Daniel Dubois, who believed that one body shot could have changed everything. Fast forward to July 19th, 2025, and the 2 met again, this time under the bright lights of Wembley Stadium. Daniel Dubois entered the rematch with fire in his eye, hoping to prove that the first fight was an anomaly. But Alexander Usyk, now the undisputed heavyweight champion, reminded the world why he's still a generational talent. Alexander Usyk came out sharp, crisp footwork, clean combination punching, and a surgical precision. Daniel Dubois tried to impose his power, but Alexander Usyk read every move. In the 5th round, Alexander Usyk dropped Daniel Dubois with a perfectly timed overhand right, and moments later, a devastating left hook that ended the night. Daniel Dubois went down hard, unable to beat the count, a conclusive finish that silenced any controversy from their first fight. For Alexander Usyk, it was another masterclass performance, but for Daniel Dubois, it was a heartbreak, but also a wake-up call. Now, Daniel Dubois is set to face Frank Sanchez, who has 25 wins, 1 loss, and 18 big wins coming by way of knockout. A slick, technical Cuban heavyweight known for his defensive mastery and counterpunching ability. This fight isn't just another matchup, it's a career-defining redemption test. Daniel Dubois must prove that he learned his lessons from the past, that he can adapt, cut off the ring, and not fall into the same traps that elite technicians like Alexander Usyk and Frank Sanchez can exploit. If he can force Frank Sanchez into exchanges and use his power wisely, he has a chance to remind the world that he's still a dangerous threat in the heavyweight division. But if Frank Sanchez dictates the rhythm and neutralizes Daniel Dubois' offense, it could be another tough night for the British contender. Either way, the stakes couldn't be higher. This fight will determine if Daniel Dubois is truly built for another run at the top. Let me know how you guys feel about this in the comments below. Daniel Dubois versus Frank Sanchez for the IBF title eliminator. In heartbreaking news that's shaking the boxing world, Arturo Gatti's son, Arturo Gatti Jr, has passed away. The details surrounding his death are still emerging, but the impact has already been deeply felt by fans, fighters, and those who knew the Gatti family. For those who don't know, Arturo Thunder Gatti was one of the most beloved warriors in boxing history. A man whose heart, grit, and never say die attitude defined an era. His legendary trilogy with Micky Ward, his famous fight with Floyd Money Mayweather, remains one of the most iconic rivalries the sport has ever seen. The loss of his son hits especially hard for fans who watched Arturo Gatti put everything on the line every time he stepped into the ring. Gatti Jr. was seen by many as the continuation of that legacy, someone who carried his father's name, spirit, and story forward. At moments like this, it reminds us that boxing isn't just about belts and knockouts. It's about family, sacrifice, and legacy. The thoughts and prayers of the entire boxing community go out to the Gatti family, everyone affected by this tragedy. Rest in peace, Arturo Gatti Jr. Your father's legacy, and now your memory will never be forgotten. And now for your favorite segment on this day in boxing history. October 8th is a legendary date in the sport. 1975, Muhammad Ali defeated Joe Frazier in the Thrilla in Manila, one of the most brutal and emotional fights ever witnessed. In 2001, Kostya Tszyu knocked out Zab Judah to become the undisputed Light Welterweight Champion. In 2021, Tyson the Gypsy King Fury stopped Deontay Wilder in the 11th round of their trilogy, sealing one of the greatest heavyweight rivalries of this era. 3 eras, 3 unforgettable wars. That's boxing's history at its finest. But that wraps up my segments for today. From Manny Pacquiao's return to Daniel Dubois versus Frank Sanchez and Saul Canelo Alvarez's surgery news, it's clear that boxing never sleeps. If you enjoyed the breakdown, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you never miss out on an update. But this is Zab Boxing Nation, where champions get analyzed and legends are made. And if you're new here, keep your hands up, and I'll catch you in the next one.